From Learfield, Florida Gators football is brought to you by Aegis Business Technologies of Tallahassee, offering 24/7 IT and cybersecurity solutions.
If you're looking for the perfect date night spot, treat your special someone to a cozy courtyard dinner at Café de Martín, Tallahassee's hidden gem for authentic Peruvian cuisine. Share a bottle of wine, dive into our sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas or our famous chupe de camarones, and fall in love with the flavors of Peru. Visit Café de Martín, where every dish tells a love story. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
We all have that friend. Great job, great smile, great heart, and still somehow single. I'm Dana Brooks of Face It Brooks Law Offices. At the Meet Cute at the Monroe, it's your turn to brag about them. Step up, grab the mic, and tell us why your single friend is the total package.
It's Meet Cute, this Sunday, October 26th at the Monroe, starting at 2 p.m.
The Meet Cute at the Monroe, the event your single friends didn't know they needed.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Good to be with you. Thanks for being with us. Just Corey and myself today. We've done this before, big man. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Just fine.
Great. It says my mic is muted on the screen, but I've never sat in this seat. Yeah. So all these screens I'm looking at, all these buttons are crazy.
You probably feel a sense of intimidation being in the chair.
Right. And having to look at this angle at you is tough too. But yeah, being in Ira's chair, nobody can replace Ira's chair.
It's tough to do. I also sit in that chair, Corey.
Oh, that's true. I was thinking more about Ira, not you. Anyway, yay sausage, right? Yay sausage. It's not Register's fault, everyone.
That's true, and we should say Register Sausage. Go find the just type in Register Sausage. It'll pop up all the places that it's at, which is all throughout Tallahassee.
I will say that, like, it's 2025. We don't have to give web addresses anymore.
No, just type
Number one, we know it's www. That goes without saying. And also, just Google it. Or Bing it, whatever you use.
Anybody using Bing these days?
Everybody does. But just go find yourself some Register Sausage. It's easy to find. It's taken over the world.
So we'll do the show as normal, just a man down as he travels back from California. Boy, he got to witness in person.
He did.
What a game.
Yes.
What a game, Corey. You and I have already talked about said game, said situation. Then it took a turn for the absurd again.
Yes.
Where do we want to start with this? I know you wrote on Warchant.com.
He was in, by the way, Jeff.
He was in.
I told Aslan I want him to film me from that angle that they had where it shows him laying on the body.
Yeah.
And you could tell, I know it's not down the line, but you can tell just reasonably he's in. So have that angle and then just walk over to where the goal line is to show how in I am. Like if I'm laying there with the ball, just like Sawchuck.
Like, are you like 4 feet in?
Yeah, I think he's at least a half a yard in.
Yeah, He's
close. Yeah.
But it also seemed fitting that it didn't have, that there was a body blocking.
Danzy's butt is blocking the best angle. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course it is. I actually like the play call, by the way.
I do.
That's a great play call. Actually.
I always liked Mark Richt's play call at Virginia in 95.
Not a bad play call.
Yeah, I think if Dunn doesn't slip, he absolutely gets in. Might have gotten in anyway. I don't think so, but he definitely gets in if he doesn't slip.
You and I are in agreement he didn't get in. I know the by and large the fan base thinks he's in. He's not in, and he's juggling the ball. And
because he gets the ball knocked loose.
Yeah. But he also, like you said, slipped. If he hadn't slipped, he's walking in.
Yeah,
it sucks. Anyhow, doesn't matter that this guy wasn't in either.
That was a much more painful loss, I think, than 95 in Charlottesville.
Yeah, that one was a tough one to
this one
accept.
On Saturday night in Stanford. They're both very tough to accept. But for different reasons.
One of the reasons that this one's easier to accept is because it's just one of many.
Yes, it's 9 in a row.
It happens all the time. It happens every time you play an ACC game.
Yeah. Yep. He was. I saw that stat. I know people have seen it by now. He was 42 the last time they won an ACC game. He's now 44.
It's true.
Now 44.
It's crazy to think about.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's where all the like and love and kindness in the world doesn't matter. Like you can say, and I know you have, and I have too, because it can sound a lot like things are getting personal when the vitriol raises to the level that it's at now. But with this guy, and there have been people where it was ugly, where, both the person needed to go and we didn't like him.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
That has happened. That's not the case here. Like nobody really dislikes Mike, but that's an irrelevant thing. But we do feel it's necessary to go out of the way to let everybody know.
I think people are starting to dislike him. Like legitimately,
the longer he sits here,
this happens when you start losing games, and also people get really tired. And we get to talk to Norvell tomorrow. We talked to the coordinators today, and that was interesting. I would encourage everyone to go watch those two vastly different press conferences from Gus Malzahn and Tony White from earlier today that are on our website or on the YouTube Warchant channel. But yeah, man, we talked to him tomorrow. What's he going to say? They're going to keep fighting. They're going to respond. Like all that stuff is so hollow, and they're the worst responding team maybe in the history of man. This is incredible. Like they are not that you can't beat Alabama and lose to Stanford. How does that isn't, you don't go 13-0 and 2-10. Like this stuff doesn't happen. This isn't normal. It's normal to have dips. It's not normal to crater. Rise up again, and then immediately crater again. That's why. So, and I'll let you talk in a second, Jeff.
No,
give me some runway.
I'll let you talk all day, buddy. That's fine. I have to talk incessantly.
And I kind of wrote about this in the column I wrote when it was announced he wasn't going to be fired. Is what's the best case scenario for the rest of this season? Do they think he could win out?
Nobody thinks that.
What if he did?
Well,
let me ask you a question. I know nobody thinks that. They just lost to Stanford.
Hypothetical.
But it's a hypothetical.
I still want him fired.
If they win out, is that best case scenario or worst case scenario?
Well, I think it's the worst case scenario.
Right. What a crazy time to be alive.
Yeah.
That's what they've done with this decision to keep him, is you're going to have Florida State fans going, oh no. They're winning some games again.
We're going to have to keep him.
We're going to have to keep and they're going to be wanting to lose in the swamp. I don't know if people would ever want their team to lose. I don't think you'd ever cheer for it.
No.
But you certainly won't be fired up if you beat that team in Florida and he keeps his job. And that's the problem when you keep somebody that doesn't need to be kept.
Well, what you're risking now is not just this initial anger, and we talk about the toxicity of what Doak's going to look like and the cascade of boos in a half-empty stadium, and people cross lines after they've had some beer. I think people might show up
to boo. Like I don't think it's gonna be half-empty. I think there'll be people there wanting to boo.
Well, the tickets are going to be sold. It's just whether or not they'll be occupied.
Right.
The other problem is, yes, you open yourself up to more ugliness. And that's captured on film. It's captured by cameras. It's captured by the mics. It's captured because you're going to hear things you shouldn't hear as well. And people are going to cross the line. They're going to get drunk and angry, and they're going to be mad that they've spent gobs of money, and they're not the ones that are going to fall into the arms of a $50 million buyout. They don't have the luxury of failing upwards, right? I mean, so this is economically, it's an ugly situation. It does speak to a disorganization behind the scenes that is also equally as ugly, because you can't go, and you and I have talked about this off the air, but we've also mentioned it on the air. How are you ill-prepared at this point for this result when he went 2-10 last year?
Yeah.
You would have had to have realistic conversations about if he's unable to recapture the successes of the previous year, what do we do? Where are we going with this? Who do we hire? Who are some people that we would like to talk to? What's it look like if he fails this year? Like, what if they had gone into the season and got blown out by 40 by Alabama? And then they didn't respond to that because they never do, let's say, right? You would have already been having this conversation. You would have gone on to get blown out by Miami and everybody else that you've been beaten by now. I don't know how they're not ready for this set of circumstances. It sucks. They don't like it. Nobody does. It's a lot of money. All of that's true, but you had to have been somewhat prepared. And I get the sense after yesterday's statement that they weren't prepared.
Well, even if they are prepared, it presents as if they're not. That's the perspective, and that's not good either. Like, it looks like there's two ways to look at it, even though they are stunned by this, just yet another Mike Norvell losing streak, or they don't care if he wins or loses. Like, those are the two presentations to the fan base, right? Like the Florida State fans, the administration clearly doesn't care, because if any game has ever been fireable, losing at Stanford to their backup quarterback when you absolutely need a win tells you everything you need to see. What are you doing? Why are you dragging this on? Unless you don't care. You don't care about what the fans think. You don't care about wins or losses. I'm not saying that that's the truth. I'm saying that is the impression. That's the perspective. That becomes reality. That's the optics of it for many Florida State fans. That's why they were so mad. They see all these people around the country being fired for less.
Boom, boom, yeah.
And then your guy has his fourth 4-game losing streak in 5 years when you hadn't had one in 50, and then and loses to the worst team. It's his worst loss since Jack State, I think. Well, with this, considering the stakes,
got a lot to choose from, but yeah,
you do. We'll get him to rank his losses at some point. They had to know it was gonna the decision to keep him was going to be met with some anger, and I guess I don't understand what the point is, because if you're going to fire him anyway, why rile up a fan base that's already mad to a fever pitch for these next 5 weeks? Unless they think there's a chance. The way Tony White talked today, Jeff, the way he talked, and he might just be presenting again, the way he talked was as if they turn it around, that they will have learned to win the close games, and then next year, who knows what it'll look like. He was talking as if it's not a foregone conclusion. Maybe that's how he has to believe, or maybe that's what he really believes. But that's what I wonder about is are they trying to give him a chance to fight his way out of this?
I think they've given him ample chances, and he's failed.
Duh.
And I do. Here's a part of me that I will tell you that I feel absolutely terrible for him tomorrow.
What am I going to ask him?
Well, here's the thing. Somebody hears that and they say, stop feeling sorry for him, man. He's going to have $50+ million. Right. But untenable situations are untenable situations, regardless if you have $100 million or one. It's a bad look. It's got to feel awful to walk into the room, to have to carry on the charade, to look people in the eye whom you respect. I think he respects plenty of members of this media team. And I think he knows what he's saying is hollow and it sounds like rhetoric.
I wonder what it'll sound like tomorrow, because he can't keep saying the same stuff. I wonder if there'll be some mea culpas and some. I don't know if he would admit defeat in the middle of a season and say that.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't keep telling me you're going to respond and you're going to fix it, because clearly you can't.
And you can't.
You got outcoached by Frank Reich, who doesn't even like to coach
and doesn't want to be there.
Yes,
and you can't tell people either that you know how it should look. He says that a lot too.
Yeah.
Well, they make it look like that, dude. What are we doing?
I know what it's supposed to look like too.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting paid
on this
$11 million a year to not have it look like that.
He can't say those things. He can't fall back on those crutches, and because it pisses people off even more now.
Yes.
And there is no right answer. Like, he can't say, look, I thought I knew how to get this turned around. I felt like we had. Clearly we haven't. I have failed. I'm not certain what the rest of the year is going to look like. We're going to do our damnedest to get these kids prepared to play and be put in a position to succeed. I can't promise you they will, because obviously if I could, we would have already done it. We would have beaten Stanford. We wouldn't have lost to Virginia and Miami and Pitt and now Stanford. We would have won an ACC game already out of our last 9. We would have won one of those if I could make it happen. And clearly I'm doing something wrong. I'm efforting to get this turned around. I understand the cynicism and the anger. I understand the frustration. I share it. But I wouldn't sit there and go Q&A. Because to me, I think you could just say something similar to what I just said and say, with that, I got to get to work. I mean, what am I going to –
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Now, it would look like he's ducking tough questions.
Except for I just answered in the opener everything you needed to hear from me. I know this is fireable. I know.
And also the black eye came from – throw that in there too. Just be completely transparent with everything.
What are you going to ask? Here, I'll put you on the spot. We didn't talk about this. I mean, but you're good at asking the question that needs to be asked. And certainly, Corey, one of the things I think you do well is –
one of the many. You forgot the word many in there.
Sorry. But one of the things I think you do well is there's a humanistic side to your questioning often. There's an empathy that's implied in some of these questions, I think. And so to me, because you're looking more big picture, you're not thinking about the story that you have to write about the right guard. You're instead looking at a bigger, more totality, big picture. And you want to get inside his head. You want to know what he's thinking. You want to know, well, in a situation like this, have you ever been in a situation? You ask those kinds of questions. What the hell are you going to ask him when the entire fan base wants him fired?
Right.
The administration, I think, would have fired him.
Also, I've written 2 columns already, maybe 3, that he should be fired.
Correct. And that's inarguable.
Yes.
He's lost 9 straight ACC games. They just lost to an sorry Stanford team's backup quarterback, I might add. We keep knocking people out of games, and they keep winning. It's unbelievable.
Since his 19-game winning streak, he is 5-15.
Right, 5-15. So what are you going to ask, and what would you expect him to say?
I would ask, I don't think I would ask, is he surprised that he's still the head coach at Florida State, although I could, and I might.
It's a fair question.
I would ask, what I'm going to ask, I'm giving away I'm not going to be able to put him on the spot. He's going to be able to game plan.
I want him to have time to prepare.
I was going to ask, so we got this release on Monday morning that you were going to be the coach. When did you find out you were still going to be the head coach? Mm-hmm. What was that conversation like? And see where he goes from there. Because I'm genuinely interested in the machinations of it. Did Alford tell him Saturday night? Did he tell him Monday morning? Did he tell? Because he was having a staff meeting on Sunday afternoon. So if he's having a staff meeting, I feel like at some point, either on the trip back or when he got to Tallahassee, he was told, "Hey, you're good for the rest of the season." I think, but I don't know, and I would like to know what that conversation was like. Also, does he ever just go onto his into his bank account, like online, and just stare at it
to feel better?
Yeah, and just to like look at all those commas. Holy cow, there's so many commas.
You would almost want to ask, and it's cruel, and I don't mean it to be, but are there moments where this washes over you, almost like a death, where you realize you missed somebody that's no longer with us? Do you ever have a moment where you just curl up in the fetal position in the shower and begin to weep?
Yeah, well, that's question 2. I don't want to come with the hard stuff early. I'll ease them into it before I ask the fetal position
when
question.
You have the existential crisis that this person is lost for the rest of your life, and you're devastated by that information, and there's no way to make it better. Do you realize you have failed horribly at this job, and now you're done? You're never going to coach a school like this again?
Yeah,
that's a toughie.
It is, and I legitimately maybe I'll ask it tomorrow. I assume we're going to get him for 5 more weeks, so I'll have plenty of times to ask these types of questions.
Do you think that? I don't.
Look. Yeah, I guess nobody will really care if they go back on their word and say, "Oh, sorry, we were wrong." If he loses to Wake by 30 points, or gets crushed by Clemson, I think. Look, the way we've seen this team play. It's going to be embarrassing that they keep losing. The losses themselves aren't embarrassingly bad, except for this last one. But even then, you're down at the 1-inch line. Of course you are. You're not getting blown out. Tony White brought that up today. It's he goes, last year I was looking at those scores. There's a 50-3. There's a 38-11.
You should say my buddy Jeff flew to the one in South Bend.
Yeah. He was they're losing by 2 and 3 and 4 touchdowns. He's this isn't that team. This team fights. They're in every game. It's all right. It's his first year, though. He's allowed to say that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they are better than they were last year.
Oh, sure.
But who cares?
Yeah, they're winless in the ACC.
Yeah, right. They're just like last year. Actually, they're worse than they were. They had a win.
Yeah, they had a win.
But I would love to know if he would ever be open. Like, what the flip happened, man? How do you explain it? How do you explain beating Alabama and losing to Stanford? How do you explain even if you want to give him the Georgia loss, which I don't because that wasn't his team, going 13-0, 19-0 to 5-14 since the Georgia game. 5-14. And those three of those wins are Charleston Southern, East Texas A&M, and Kent State, who's barely isn't a Division I school.
Yeah,
really.
He hasn't beaten anybody.
He's beat Alabama and California and lost to everyone else that has college football players. How? It's not that hard. It's hard to be a top 10 team consistently. It's not hard to be an average college football team.
Average ACC team.
NC State is an average college football team.
Yes.
They're not out there straight going. This is unprecedented. Well, and I would just love to know what he thinks he did wrong, what he got wrong, what is wrong with his culture or his program that they continually lose every which way you can lose a football game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That
I don't know how he answers.
Well, he'll have to ask himself that.
He's been asking himself
for
that
a long time. I partly think that his message doesn't really resonate all that well because it's of the same note over and over and over again.
Yeah.
There's no nuance to that message.
Well, and I think that happened a little bit with Jimbo too, right? Like Jimbo was a hard ass. He was a tough coach. He got really good players. And then as you saw, he still had really good players, and the message just kept getting watered down, and it didn't reach them anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you can blanketly apply whatever motivational tools you're using to the team. I think you have to almost individually. And I thought when he became the CEO coach that he'd have an opportunity to do that, to be more nuanced in his approach, to reach people. Some people need a kick in the ass. Some people need an arm around the shoulder. Some people need something in between. But you can't just play the same note over and over and over again. I mean, they just stopped putting hashtag the climb on their tweets out there.
There you go. That's good.
Just stop doing that. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
At Florida State, you shouldn't climb that much.
Well, God, dog.
I mean, now you do.
That's what people immediately respond. Are we climbing Everest?
What
are we doing?
Climbing some crazy mountain in another universe.
It's brutal. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
This is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you'd like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services.
CCC 1331204.
Barry knows school, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school, you can put him to the test. Barry knows heating and air conditioning, keeping you comfortable. Is what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Ira is traveling back from California. It's me and Corey today.
What a time for him to just bounce.
Oh, yeah. How lucky is that, right? I get to avoid having to talk about this.
But, I mean, in his defense, when they scheduled that trip, it's like, well, this is going to be a sleepy off week. They'll just dispatched of Stanford. They'll probably be 5-2. There won't be much to talk about. And then instead, all this has been happening the last 48 hours. And he's out in wine country. Get it together, Ira.
Joey Two Guns in the chat asked a question. Ask Coach, in your opinion, what is the standard? See, I don't think he lacks an understanding of the standard. I think he certainly knows what the standard is. And he knows that he hasn't reached it. He knows this isn't it. He knows what it looks like, and this isn't it.
Right.
I mean, I think a lot of times when we get emails and people ask us questions in the chat or tweet at us or whatever about, well, ask him this and ask him this. It's usually some sort of combative, antagonistic sort of question that really doesn't solve anything. I'm not saying you're doing that, Joey Two Guns, but what I'm saying is that it's implied that he doesn't seem to understand the mission.
Yeah.
I think he understands full well exactly what he has to do. He's just not doing it.
Yeah, I think he understands. He probably understands now he ain't the guy to do it. I don't know how he couldn't at this point. Like, everybody has self-doubt. Even the most egotistical people are going to have some periods of self-doubt. I can't imagine what his self-doubt is right now because it goes back, I wonder what he's thinking. If they showed him on the sideline a bunch, and usually I'm at the games and I'm not Hawkeye like Ira. I'm not watching the sidelines. So I don't get to see his demeanor on the sideline during the course of the game.
When you go back and watch it.
Yeah. And this game I was watching live and I'm like, man, this guy looks pained, tense, with good reason. His team sucks when it didn't suck. His program sucks when it didn't suck, and it's all on him. But you wonder about the thing with Edwin Joseph. So we talked to Tony White about that today. If you don't know, hopefully none of you guys watched the game, but I'm sure you did. Edwin Joseph jumps off sides.
Almost every single person listening to this did.
He jumps off sides, gives them a first down after they missed a field goal. Then he gives up the touchdown 3 plays later.
Yeah, tough day at the office.
And so Tony White is talking about this today, and he's asked about the Edwin Joseph incident because looked like he brushed past each other. There was some animosity clearly. So as he's walking off the field, as Tony White says it, Tony White's like, look, a million people just watched him jump off sides and then give up a touchdown. He knows what happened. He already feels bad enough. He feels like he let everyone down. He knows the deal. He knows what just happened. And then coach comes over and says, what the hell was that? And it just escalated from there. I don't know that Tony White was
rolling Mike
Norvell, but it comes across that way.
Yeah.
Like at some point, like also Edwin Joseph is allowed to handle criticism better than he handled it, clearly.
Without question.
It's crazy he even was allowed on the field after jumping off sides, but he was, and then he was allowed back in the game after all this, which is another discussion. But and he actually did play well after that, if it matters. Yeah. He gave up 7 points, though, so not really. So Tony White it just seemed like Tony White was saying, like, maybe in that moment, let him cool down for a little bit, then go over.
Yeah.
Because what was going to happen? Like, what did Norvell think was going to happen when you go scream down a guy who already knows that he just gave up a touchdown and plays on a crappy team? No offense, Florida State Seminoles, but you're a crappy football team right now. It's not going to be met with, I got you, coach. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of the time.
Yeah, it's interesting when you think about it in those terms. Like, the angriest I ever get with my kids is not when in the moment the thing that happens that pisses me off. It's like not then that I choose to discuss the depth to which I'm angry about or disappointed in. It's like, I better take a deep breath because I'm afraid I'm going to say something I don't mean.
It's the heat of the moment. Right. And that's what Tony White was saying on the sideline. It's the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And again, you go watch Tony White's whole interview. There's a death threat thrown in there. There's a lot of interesting, I guess, stuff. He said he's gotten death threats.
Yeah, that's awful.
So we'll see. But and look, I'm not doubting it. People, especially at 2 a.m,
social media
are DMing all kinds of awful stuff.
Yes.
But I think when it comes to Tony White saying this, I don't think he's rolling Norvell. I don't think he's criticizing. He's not meaning to criticize the action, but part of being a head coach and a leader is knowing when to push those buttons.
Understanding who you're talking to, what just happened, when to talk to him, how to talk to him. Yeah, all of that. I think certainly it's not a great mystery here.
Also, Edwin Joseph, I'm not
you're not absolving
removing blame from Edwin Joseph, man. Handle your stuff on the sidelines better than that, man.
I think that it speaks to a larger issue that he's not connected to the team. They've tuned him out completely.
Well, you could understand how that might happen.
You can when you lose every week.
But he's not only that true. But I would.
Well, that's the same thing, Corey. That's what I was just saying.
Like
right?
Even in November of 2023, I'm imagining most of the starters, NFL players on that team had probably tuned out the message of respond. You got your hand. Like they're pros. They're playing football, and they don't need a rah moment every practice and every halftime and before every pregame. They just need good coaching.
This is what I was talking about last segment. I really do think that it's a problem for him. I think Mike will have a chance to reflect after he's been fired.
Yes.
And he'll get other opportunities, probably as an assistant somewhere at a lower level next. But let's see, he's a young man at some point relatively in the coaching field. He's got a chance 7 years from now to take over a program again. Let's see. Probably not a big one.
How old do you think he'll be when he gets his next conference win as a head coach?
45.
56? Well, the way this is going?
And which conference is he going to be in?
Exactly right. That's the better question.
But so my point would be, I would think that, obviously you have to go back and take inventory, take stock of what you did well, because at one point you did some things well. You won 19 games in a row, as you pointed out. You know how hard that is, by the way?
Incredibly hard.
It's incredibly difficult to do
for
any coach in any conference anywhere to win 19 in a row. It is incredibly difficult. He deserves to be noted for that. It's also incredibly difficult at Florida State to lose as many ACC games in a row as he has.
I would say
remarkable.
I would say it's harder to do it's harder to lose 9 straight ACC games at Florida State than it is to win 19 in a row at Florida State. They're both very hard to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a little tick above to lose 9 in a row at Florida State.
It's a hell of a thing to come over the top with a greater set of failures than successes after you've won 19 in a row.
That's what I'm saying, man. I said it on Wake Up Warchant, man. Like, his program belongs in a mental institution. This is the most bipolar, schizophrenic personality disorder program that's ever lived. Nobody's gone through this. As Florida State fans, I get the animosity and the angst and the frustration, because this just doesn't happen. You don't have an undefeated season followed by abject failure with an Alabama win mixed in there.
Yeah, that's the weird part. I think that what's weird is we will see disparate results in a way that we didn't used to see them in college football.
Disparate.
I agree with that. I'm saying we are the outlier. We are the amazing outlier.
Correct.
But I do think you will see weird results. Like, it wouldn't shock you if next year, after they've already given the man $1 gazillion, if next year Indiana goes 6-6,
right,
after winning like 19 of the last 20 games or whatever it is at Indiana, I mean, like, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened.
Man, I don't think people were shocked that Michigan went 7-5 last year after winning the national championship or whatever it was.
Because
that's a normal.
That's also the era we're in now.
Right.
You can't stockpile talent.
But it's not the era to go from 13-0 to basically 1-10.
Yeah. I think that his message falls flat, doesn't resonate, is now tuned out completely.
Yes.
And once that happens, it's very difficult to get that back. I don't know that you can get that back. There's just enough dirt on you now that you can't get clean. This is why we say he's got to go. There's no turning back. That's why it's puzzling that it didn't happen.
Yeah, because I don't know what can be gained other than they win 5 in a row. I know. But if they go 8-4, that's the problem, man.
Yeah, but they're not going to go 8-4, and you know that.
They did.
But they're not going to do
what
that.
Okay, let's go. Let's say 8-5. They go 7-5 in the regular season.
No.
Somehow they keep him on for the bowl game, and he wins, and he goes 8-5.
Did he have a 4-game losing streak? Did he lose to Stanford?
But he beat Alabama, and he beat the Gators. That's the problem. Is like when you start from 2-10, everything is an improvement, even a 4-game losing streak. And what I'm worried about, this is my worry, is that this is what their plan is to hope that he can turn it around and get to 7 or 8 wins and then keep them. And that will be met with such disdain that it won't be a forever fracture, because Florida State fans are always going to be passionate about their school. But it will be a fracture in the short term where a lot of big money people will be like, nah, I'm okay. I don't need my season tickets.
It's already happened.
Because I don't believe that y'all care enough about this program to give us the best chance to succeed. Because clearly this guy has something going on with the way he runs a program where it is like an EKG, not an EKG machine. What are those things in the hospital?
That's an EKG. Or you have
where you see the beep, beep.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what his program is. And mostly it's down. Like you can't assume, oh my gosh, he just went on a 5-game winning streak. They're set up to be awesome in 2026. No, they're not. They might go 1-11. How would you ever think anything is consistent with this head coach after the last 6 years?
You can't.
So a winning streak would almost make it seem worse. Like, what in the world, dude?
Yeah. Nice of you to get this figured out after the 4 straight losses.
Yeah, when the season's over and nobody cares anymore. Awesome, Mike. Thanks.
No, it's an unmitigated disaster, as I'm fond of saying. And they don't have really, at this point, short of bringing in a new coach and letting us know what the plan is, you're just going to have to wallow in this. This is the hard part. This is what you wrote about, and it's true. Like, I'm not looking forward to the days ahead.
Yeah.
And at least in terms of covering this program, I love my job, but it's all going to be negative. There is no positive to be found right now.
There's also no point almost even talking about, like, well, the offense looked like crap on Saturday night. Well, who cares?
Yeah.
It's going to be who cares about the minutia of an actual football team when you in developing an offense or making Tommy, getting Tommy healthy? Who cares? Is Gus going to be here next year? Is Mekhi Danzy? Like, those are questions that, especially the Danzy one, is some you're concerned about, but nothing over the next 5 weeks is going to portend to anything. It's not going to matter other than you're just playing out the string, most likely. And look, man, there's a part of me that thinks with this vote of confidence, which was a stay of execution more than anything else, but this vote of confidence, that maybe they loosen up and play better and more free and less tense like their head coach has been, and just kind of go out and play and could win a few games. I do think that's a possibility, which nobody probably wants them to look great. But also there's another possibility where they absolutely tank.
Yeah, they can lose the rest of their game.
But lose badly.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this is you've made it even uglier.
Do you remember the moment? I don't know what it was. It was different for everybody, but there was a moment last year. Could have been the Boston College game. Could have been a couple weeks later. Could have been the Memphis game.
I think it was Memphis for me.
So there was a moment in time when all of the various scenarios, well, this is wrong. They got to fix this. Maybe they can fix this. Oh, if they get this right, this will help this. And we did all of that, right? We moved all of the pieces to the puzzle. And then at some point you went, oh, no, none of this is going to matter. They're going to lose. They're going to play Saturday. They're going to lose that game. They're going to get beat badly. They're going to go through the motions. We're going to watch guys loafing. We're going to see a series here or there where it doesn't appear that anybody's trying, and you're just going to lose the game. It's just a question of, is it by 60? Is it by 30? Is it by 20? Is it by 50? That's all it was. They haven't reached that place necessarily, because like you just said, the losses have been close.
Yep. God bless them. Hey, they're in every game. One play here or there.
But did that game officially signal
The end.
That it's all done. Like they're not going to try anymore.
You would think, except there is the bye week, and there is this this rarefied place they're at where they did get a vote of confidence. So they don't feel like they're playing for their coach's job. I think most of them probably think he's going to be fired anyway, but he's not fired now. So just go play.
Well, you don't want to put bad film out there. I mean, have some pride about you. Go out there and play hard.
Here's my best case scenario before we go to break is let's say they lose to NC State. And I know that's hard to believe.
Yeah, shocking.
Try to visualize it. Try to visualize this team not playing well on the road and somehow losing in Raleigh. And so that Saturday or Sunday, probably that Sunday, they say, look, Mike Norvell will be relieved of his duties at the end of this football season. A nationwide search will begin immediately. But he is the coach for that final week. And he does go and beat Florida. And they carry him out on his shoulders.
What the hell kind of dream scenario is this?
Isn't that perfect? Because it would be nice for Norvell.
Just a thank you, coach.
Thanks, coach, for that 19 game. Yeah, but I mean, he could end his career like Ron Zook. He could end his career with a win at the rival stadium against another interim coach. That's dream scenario, Jeff.
Yeah.
You announce it. Hey, we decided we're moving on, but we're going to let him finish out this year. He's going to get one last chance to respond.
Like the big win Napier got over Mississippi State.
Right. What a way to go out.
Yeah, he knew.
That's a walk-off.
There they are. They're fighting their ass off.
That's a walk-off win. And by the way, his team does fight. They do fight. They're
all
not
the time.
I don't know why they're not very good, but his team does fight. So yeah, maybe that would give them. It would be cool for him to get a moment like that in Gainesville. I know nobody cares. Some of you'd rather see him lose 50-0, but beating Florida, his last game.
Buddy, you are in dreamland.
Getting carried out on their shoulders. Lagway will shut it down by then. So, and then Mike Norvell gets to hold the Gator head high as he walks out. It says, "I love you, Florida State."
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Okay, well,
I like
it. Good thought.
Paint another picture here in a moment. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Picture this. It's midnight and you're lying in bed, scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the add to cart button on that item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. But you remember that your wallet or credit card is in the living room and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it. That purple shop button. That shop button that has all of your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your bed. That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier, from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Seminole Headlines to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about all the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant. Shopify.com/warchant.
It's the Lawn Johns with the ultimate fall cleanup list. From clearing leaves to fresh pine straw and mulch, the Lawn Johns dominate the field, your yard, so you can focus on what matters. Grilling, chilling, and cheering on your team. Don't let leaves sack your game day fun. Call the Lawn Johns today and win the battle of the backyard. The Lawn Johns, your lawn, our game.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Got to get to some contributions here and questions that accompany them. At this point, writes Elijah, Mike's presence will start to invite toxicity into the program. If he wishes to save his integrity, it would be wise to resign immediately.
Wouldn't that be awesome? And just forfeit it all. What if he said, I'll resign tomorrow, you only owe me half?
Well, that would be great, Corey. He's not going to do that.
Or
He's
how
not
about
going
this?
to do that.
How about this? You let me coach. Maybe they made a deal. You let me coach the rest of this year and 2026, and we will restructure the contract where there is no buyout.
I mean,
but if I get to 9 or 10 wins,
it comes back.
I get another 3-year deal. Come on, man. You got to think outside the box for this stuff.
I would really love.
But yes, it is toxic. That's the whole problem with letting him stay here. It is as toxic as this program has ever been. Right now,
you know, it's weird. There is, like, if you try to put yourself in his shoes, like we were doing earlier in the hour. I talk about it being untenable. I think it's got to be unbelievably stressful. Minute by minute, hour by hour, to be him right now. Now, again, you got money to fall back on, but we know plenty of people with a lot of money who are miserable and are not happy just because they have money. Yeah, so great. You can go on the world's best vacation and own a huge home. Lovely. There's other things. And so you
still feel like a failure even with all that money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And I wonder how hard it is for him to walk in there and look people in the eyes. I mean, when you have failed at something, I was thinking about this the other day.
I wish I could just know what that feeling is like.
Just to have failed.
Just to have failed at any time in my life, but I can't relate. But anyway, go ahead.
You're looking at a guy do it right now, buddy. Yeah. We're seeing what it's like. It hurts you inside to know that he's failing that way because we never could. Never could.
Exactly.
But no. But
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you and I were the head coaches of Florida State for the last 2 years, could we have done worse?
Lose 9 straight ACC games, just win 1? Probably not.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's kind of an indictment.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
It's kind of an indictment.
Slightly an indictment, yeah. I just know the whole idea of a guy resigning, well, I don't think that'll happen. I could see a scenario where he would – now, his agent wouldn't let him. Sexton is his agent, by the way. Sexton wouldn't let him do it.
Well, Sexton works for him.
But, okay. But you could see a scenario where he comes to them and says, 40 and I walk tomorrow. It's unlikely.
Yeah,
it's unlikely. But I mean, if you don't want to deal with it anymore,
I don't think he would make a decision like that to leave. I think he would make a decision like that to try to get it right. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'd be like, I will restructure my contract. Let me get it right in 2026. We'll reappropriate some of this money that you would have had to pay me into the best roster in the country. We'll use this $50 million. Actually, right around $100 million if you do all the math of the new coaching staff that would have to be come in and all the buyouts of all these coordinators and assistants. It's right around $100 million that you'd have to owe. If you said, look, cut me down to $1.8 million. I can live on that in Tallahassee.
I'm going to give you $1,000.
$1,000.
You got $1,000.
Do what you want, Mike.
Yeah. There's $1,000.
But I could see something like that. I don't think you would make a deal to leave. I think you would make a deal to try to stay and get it right and reappropriate the money. And nobody would be excited about that, clearly.
Nope.
But he would make a lot of kind of fans if he came out, because last year he made a lot of fans when he gave $4.5 million back. If they really restructured his contract and made it incentive-laced and said, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to use all that money that would have been paid to fire me into getting us the best roster so we can give Florida State the team it deserves.
Well, then you would need your athletic director to understand that that's possible and not believing in this
the parameters,
insane.
Well, I think that would be the part of the discussion on it, but it just doesn't make sense that he's still here unless there's something like there. Why kick the can down the road if you're just going to fire him like we all know you should fire him 5 weeks from now. Like, that's what doesn't make sense. There's got to be something else at play.
Tony says, hard to lose 4 straight at FSU. And Norvell does it on the regular. Yes, he does. He's done it 4 times.
Yep. I'm good at looking up that kind of stuff.
I like that you, after each loss, find all the other lowlights for him.
Because,
hey, in addition, guys, nobody's ever sucked this bad but this guy.
Last week, before the Pitt game, the Friday night before the Pitt game, I looked up. I'm like, because I didn't think they were going to win that game.
Right.
I'm like, I think he's going to have another 3-game losing streak. I wonder how many that is and how many Florida State has had.
And then you're like, well, that's
And
6.
so I looked, and like Bowden had 5.
Yeah.
Jimbo had 1, I think. Willie had 1. But they only had 3-game losing streaks. They never took it the next level like Norvell does.
Yeah, he's seeing.
And so when he lost to Stanford, I'm like, well, God, when was the last 4-game losing streak they had? And then, it was 1975 before Bowden. And it was the only one of the last 50 years until 45 years until Norvell took over. And now he's had 4. He's had 4 4-game losing streaks.
4 4-game losing streaks.
Man, when he does it, he's going to do it big. Nobody wants a 2-game losing streak. Those are boring.
Up, baby. 2 Live Hollywood. How can you want the kids to respond when the coach don't know how to respond? Heavy is the head. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Heavy is the head indeed that wears the crown. It's brutal. Well, when you're watching him go through this crisis of confidence and, disbelief, shock, dismay, staring off into the distance as he sometimes does in the middle of these games, you wouldn't exactly be inspired as a player coming off the field.
Yeah, how often are they looking at their head coach during the course of a game?
But I mean, they certainly
I think it's more
highlights.
I think they do. They probably see something on Twitter.
Yeah.
I also think it's just more the day-to-day. And I don't, in the hallways, when you hear him interacting, he doesn't seem that high-strung. He's always yelling, like, have a nice day, and trying to be, like, over the top, charming. I don't know what he's like to play for, though. I don't know. Obviously, they don't respond to it well. They don't respond to anything well. They don't respond to success or failure. It's the worst of both worlds.
They respond to failure with more failure.
Yeah. Well, they're great at that. They let that wash over them.
Failure with
but
more failure.
I just wonder how much of that is his. I don't know, man. His personality. If they think he's not too intense, just too ratcheted up. I don't know. I bring this up, and again, Lane Kiffin hasn't won a championship yet. He's a very good football coach, though. On the sideline of the Georgia game, biggest game of the season for them, he calls a timeout before the last-second field goal of the first half, and then he goes over to the referee and is like, what are you doing? I was clapping. As a joke, and the referee starts laughing. In the middle of the Georgia-Ole Miss game, he's making jokes.
Well, he's secure.
He's very secure. He's also secure in that he's good.
Well,
and
that's
his team
my point,
is good.
Is that he's winning games.
Yeah.
That
helps.
You can be relaxed and
but that's
have
a
real
big game.
belief.
That's a big game.
Yeah.
It's an enormous game, and they didn't win it. But he I don't know, man. I just think sometimes teams could take the personality of their coach. I don't think Mike Norvell belongs at a mental institution.
No, but he's wound tightly.
His team does.
Yeah, he's wound tightly.
Yes.
It's pretty obvious. Again, I will say it till I'm blue in the face. Same note every day. Same note all the time. I think it's easy to tune that out. You get tired of hearing that same ass note every day. Doesn't matter if they're winning or losing. It's the same note, same speech.
But in that for every
I don't think so. I think there are coaches who understand that there are days where they ratchet it up to 10, and there are days where they dial it way back.
Because I think Kirby,
the team.
I think somebody like Kirby. Look, Kirby's the best one out there probably right now. Kirby and Saban, obviously they're hard asses. We know they're hard asses.
Right.
But it's not constant 100% all the time.
No,
he's also instilling a ton of confidence in those players by working them as hard as they do and letting them know that.
And winning.
And also, I don't know if it matters that he played at such a high level, but they know he did it too in the SEC. Saban didn't. So I don't know why they respected him so much, but when
preparation
he started.
I also.
But you also have to. There's different notes you
got to play, man, because if you think about the people in your life that you've ever worked with or for, and who were the most effective coworkers and managers. They
not Ira. Good grief! You talk about a one note.
They just, the way they handled everybody kind of differed, right? Based on who that person was, what their role was, and what kind of day it was, or what the task was. It wasn't always the same thing, and I just feel like it's always the same thing with Mike, and it gets old. It gets old. Dave in Bardstown says, one, maybe get Jimmy to negotiate our next head coaching contract for us. Maybe make him our AD.
There you go. Maybe save some money.
Nicely done. 2, after getting to know Tommy C. and Bill O'Brien, it's not hard to see why that relationship didn't work out.
At all. And what should make Florida State fans feel a little bit better is Boston College sucks without Tommy Castle. Holy
they suck,
cow.
period. Yes, they're
they're the worst. They lost to Connecticut at home by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, he's going to get fired, and we won't have him for coaching.
I know,
anymore,
that's a bummer.
Man. And
Bummer.
they're all dropping like flies.
Except for this one. Except for this one here.
This guy somehow keeps it together. Sandman writes, Norvell, Gus, and White don't deserve a buyout. I want them to be embarrassed and reputations tarnished, just like they've done to this program. Let the boos rain down each home game.
Well, I would say I wouldn't throw Gus and Tony in there as far as like what they've done to this program.
They inherited the personality.
They inherited what Norvell has done to this program, and they have made them better. It's a better defense, barely. It's a better offense, but it's not a better team.
No,
let's just say.
And I think I don't love what they're working with.
No,
They've
right.
got a
and
few
that,
good players, but I don't
well,
know.
and again,
the
that
depth
goes
is not here.
Like we can complain about Tommy and his limitations, of which there are many when he can't run. But why is he here?
Right.
Why is he here?
Because Mike couldn't bring in a quarterback and develop one?
And also Mike didn't have a good enough offense to withstand some losses.
And every time he does bring in a guy,
Malzahn.
he has to move on from him or they transfer out?
Yeah.
Over and over and
over
again?
Yeah, that's on Mike. That's on the head coach and
the
his ability to bring
buddy.
in players. Yeah.
The freaking recruiting.
James Franklin, baby.
Well, I'm with you.
You're on the James Franklin boat now. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, I am if you can get him on the cheap on Penn State's dime. Yeah, I would. I'm not paying $12 million for him.
No, I'd pay
5, 6.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Come on down, James.
Do it, James.
Up, baby.
Show him you're the best.
Hour number 2, headliner questions forthcoming. Stay with.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's termite and pest control technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good, get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right, get a new roof, get eyes on those shimmering new shingles, get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
As you probably know, Fulmers buys, sells, and loans on just about anything of value. What you might not know is that when you buy something from us, we guarantee the total satisfaction of your purchase. Buy it, take it home, and if for any reason you decide you don't want it within 7 days, Fulmers will give you 100% of your money back. And if you decide you don't want the item within 30 days, Fulmers will let you exchange it for something you do want. At Fulmers, we guarantee you're going to be happy with your purchase or we'll buy it back. Fulmers, check cashing, pawn service, and sales. 2 times more than you might expect with 2 great locations.
This is Alex from Fulmers. We've been buying gold and silver jewelry, fine watches, and other collectibles for over 45 years. But did you know Fulmers buys and sells gold and silver coins, bars, and bullion? Don't get scammed online or pay high shipping and handling fees. Call or stop by Fulmers for a quick and easy quote. No matter if you're new to investing in bullion or have been collecting a lifetime, Fulmers is your local source for buying, selling gold and silver coins and bullion. Fulmers, more than you might expect with 2 great locations.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. You're listening to Seminole Headlines with Ira, Corey, and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Orlando Magic open up the NBA season tomorrow at Kia Center, laying 8.5 against the Heat, 214.5 the total. Game 1 of the World Series on Friday. Dodgers another 4-9 favorite against the Blue Jays, plus 122, 7.5 under the total. Dodgers to sweep is 6-1. Odds for the Blue Jays to sweep, a long shot at 20-1. College football Saturday, Miami 30.5-point home favorites with Stanford at Hard Rock Stadium. Florida State off until they host Wake Forest November the 1st. Seminoles 0-4. They've lost 4 straight. FSU says they'll not make a decision on Mike Norvell at the end of the season. Score $500 in rewards with the G-Bank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
The competition is scared. Why? Because J.D. Power named Nissan, not Toyota, #1 in new vehicle quality among all mainstream brands. And all 2025 Nissan midsize SUVs have 0% interest for 60 months and up to $5,000 cash back. Kraft Nissan in Tallahassee.
Services, Comforts to call away.
222-7722. AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too.
222-7722. Parker Services, Comforts to call away.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away.
Parker Services, Comforts to call away.
Florida license number CMC 050334 and EC 1301240.
Your body is a masterpiece designed to heal itself from within. Learn how to maximize your health by tuning in to Phenomenal Health with me, Dr. Ryan Finn. Saturdays at 2:30. Experience true health today and call Finn Chiropractic at 386-7700.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, headliner questions about to get started. We'll get to those momentarily. Ira traveling back from California, not with us today, just me and Corey doing it up one more hour, and then we have the bonus hour that Tom and I did after this hour.
What's the dynamic like with just you and I, you think? Because you've done it now with just Ira and with just me.
I think that we're all good together.
Yeah. We're doing well, though, you and I think.
No.
Yeah.
I don't mean that snarky. Yeah. I mean that, I think that we're all, we've known each other for so long now, and we're also friends off the air, so I think it's kind of easy.
I feel like his pragmatism is missed a little bit, but that's fine. What are we gonna do? We got plenty of time for pragmatism.
Yeah, we got.
They just lost to Stanford.
You don't need to be pragmatic.
Nope. Not a time for that. That's why I was actually in town. We told him to stay away.
Keep your pragmatism at the house.
Wait a week, man. Come on.
We do need to say thank you to Dr. Birch and Birch Orthodontics always.
Yep.
Best in the business. Both my boys went there. They've got beautifully straight teeth. Your wife's daughter went there. I know. Did her son go there too?
I think. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There you go. So there you go. Her kids went there. We know that's all solid. And so Ira's kids all went there. We vouch. We vouch for the great Dr. Birch.
We couldn't vouch any harder.
No, we really couldn't. And Heather Birch and her staff are fantastic and really good at what they do. So that's
she's a diehard Nole too, if that matters to you.
She's suffering just like the rest of us right now.
Well, yeah. I want to say long suffering, but no, just a lot of suffering here lately.
Hey, by the way, kudos to you. I just pulled this up. You posted this 14 hours ago?
Well, I mean, yeah, 11 p.m. That's not great, Shake.
Nah,
that's
kind
of what I do.
That's for you.
Well,
sometimes I've seen 2 in the morning. I've seen 1:30 in the morning. I thought, well, there's an afterthought. Corey was going to bed at 3, and he posted at the last second.
Shout out to Ira, by the way, for
posting on Twitter.
Getting questions. Although I guess when I was thinking about it, it's like, well, I have a Twitter account too. I could have just asked for questions. I think most people that follow him probably follow me, but I appreciate that he was willing to do that because when I was not here, I did not ask for Facebook questions.
This is funny. No, I didn't expect you to. You should have, but I didn't expect you to.
I know. Yeah.
This is actually funny right out the gates on Facebook. Hassan says, fellas, let's play a game of blank, marry, kill. We know what the blank is. Okay.
Kiss.
With Norvell transfers and their quarterbacks, Mackenzie Milton, DJU, Tommy Castellanos.
I would. I'm not.
We're not going to do it. We're not going to play the game.
Nope.
Side note: Norvell should pay Jordan Travis at least a quarter of his buyout. That's funny. Mike says a little off topic here, but y'all know how. What is this? Oh no! I'm not reading that. I gotta reread that. I can't even see it. JB Boyette, guys. Silver lining: we are 1 loss away from the ACC Platinum Bohica.
Yep.
Also, who let ACC officials into a Ford Field tonight? Oh, Bucks game. Yeah, that was a poorly officiated game, but Bucks were going to lose anyhow. That's a very good Detroit team.
Why? Because I don't get to watch games on TV as much as you do. Why did we? Well, I'm talking about Florida State games. Why didn't we get a look inside the ACC replay
booth at the end?
Command center the whole game? We didn't.
I don't know.
They do that for other games, right? Not just Friday night games.
Do you think they designated the FSU Stanford game obsolete? It's on at 10:30 at night.
Nobody's going to be awake. We got to sleep.
Yeah.
Got church in the morning. I guess. I don't know who the referee was talking to for 3 minutes on that last play.
Yeah. Somebody who's like, we cannot overturn it no matter what. But it looks
we can't
like
go to
he's
overtime.
Really in.
We can't go to overtime. It's too late.
Good day, gents. Over under 40K attendance for Wake.
Over. I think people have decided they're coming. They've already bought tickets. It's homecoming.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't get out of their hotels.
Only because it's homecoming.
Yeah. Well, I also think there's a part of the fan base that wants to show up to be heard, which isn't great. Although you would think more people, if you don't show up, that makes much more noise, not being there than boos. But we'll see.
Man, it is crazy. You think it's going to be deafening boos?
I think when his name is announced, if they announce it, I think every time they run away from catching a punt, although my man, Squirrel was back there. He caught that one. He caught a couple of them. They actually had a good punt return.
Yeah, they did.
On their little trick play thing you do.
It's lost in the
loss.
Yeah.
Every time there's a 3 and out, a turnover, a penalty. Yeah, man, I think he'll be, if they lose or if they're down at halftime, it will be lustful boos.
Yeah. Robust.
Robust. I don't think lustful is a word. But yes, it's going to be loud if they're down at halftime when his name gets announced.
Well,
they would be smart. Nobody's going to care if he gets his name announced or not. Don't even announce it.
I wouldn't.
There's no point in doing it.
Well, you know how they stopped doing the cinematic recaps?
What? Yeah, that jinxed the entire season. By the way, we see them last year when they're losing every game. They beat Alabama, the biggest win probably we thought in Norvell's tenure in career at the time. And then we have to wait 3 weeks to see the behind the scenes from that game when they do like a block of all the other games. That was crazy. That was bad. It was just bad timing to go away from those in that moment.
Mark writes, not asking for Jimbo to be the next coach, but if he were, what would he say to the three of you, and what would be your first question to him? I hadn't thought about that. I think he'd say hello, first of all, and I think he would be attempting to win us over.
Yep.
I think what would be my first question to him?
My first question would be legitimately, maybe not in front of cameras, but if I was just talking to him on the side, like, how weird is it in College Station? Like, what?
Oh, you'd want to know what kind of, all the weirdness, all the cult-like behavior at Texas A&M, I think I'd want to know what he's learned since he left.
Yeah, man, I just don't. Hopefully he has. He might not be able to articulate it or want to or feel the need to. But hopefully he has. Because look, man, I'm not saying it's a 0% chance that Jimbo would be the next head coach, because he would be cheap, and he has done it before, and he's already dangling out there. We have to understand he just got fired.
Yeah, he failed miserably at Texas A&M.
Right, not this miserably.
Well, nobody feels this miserable.
Yes, so he's a step up from the guy you got, but is that all you're looking for? It's not 2012, 2010. The college football world has changed completely since he made this thing a power. Just because he did it 12 years ago doesn't mean he could do it again. And as I would point out, he's not the only one with the key to figure out how to unlock Florida State. Like Mike Norvell won 19 games in a row here.
Correct.
Mike Norvell, everyone.
Yeah, won 19 games in a row here.
The guy that can't win, he can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag now, won 19 games in a row at Florida State. So there are a lot of coaches out there that can turn this thing around, not just you don't have to go back to your past.
I would want to know that, though.
Yes,
sincerely, I would want to know what he's learned since he left. I would want to know about the circumstances that he now, because the further removed you get from either a breakup with a girl or a job or whatever it might be, you reflect.
Would he admit fault?
Oh, I think when he started to cry when the ACC team was here.
But then he also said on Freddie's podcast that I never wanted to leave. Like, would he actually?
Not true.
Of course it isn't. Would he admit fault that I didn't appreciate what Florida State was as much as I should have? Just say something like that. And I honestly think all would be forgiven. I didn't appreciate in the moment that I needed Florida State as much as Florida State needed me.
Well, what he would argue right now and why he can with a straight face
Plus he's got that sweet-ass new football-only facility now that Norvell got to move into today.
He would. I think the way he's able to say with a straight face to Freddie that he never wanted to leave Florida State is that this is, how you talk about like the royal we and all that. I think for him, he felt it was necessary to leave Florida State. He didn't want to leave Florida State, and he would look at that as two different things. He would say, they made it so I had to leave.
Right.
Is what he would say.
I got it.
I didn't want to.
It's semantics, but I got what you're saying.
That's what he would say. I mean, I believe that.
And would he admit that it was a mistake?
Well, is it? He's got more money and generational money than he would ever
He's also out of coaching and kind of fell flat on his face.
No, I agree with you. I'm just saying. Garrett writes, if Mike Norvell finishes the season, what's the best case scenario? That he's fired when the clock strikes 0 at the end of the Florida game?
Wouldn't it be better, though, if he's going to be fired anyway to beat Florida? That's the best case. The thing I painted last hour of him being carried off the field by his players after getting to 6-6 with a big win over the Gators in Gainesville, having already been fired and knowing that's his last game, that's best case scenario. He gets a night to feel good. His players get to beat Florida. He gets to walk out of there a winner, just like Napier did. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is they keep him.
When he gets fired,
probably the way many people are thinking.
When he gets fired, which may be sooner rather than later. When he gets fired, I'm going to wish him well. I'm going to hope that he figures out, some of the weaknesses in his approach to being a head coach, and has success elsewhere, somewhere. I mean, it's not going to be at a big place anytime soon. If it is, he's an assistant coach, so whatever.
Yeah.
But eventually, I would like him to figure it out because I do think he cares. I think he's passionate. I think he does really care about his players. I think he loves this program. It wasn't for a lack of trying. There's no work ethic issues here.
I also think, other than the scoreboard, he's a really good ambassador for your program and for your university. I think. The scoreboard
he
makes
hasn't done anything other than lose to embarrass us. Yes, that is good. other than the losing.
But I mean, who even keeps track of these things, wins and losses?
Dan writes, when we hired Norvell, do you remember the other hot board candidates? Just wondering, where are they now?
I don't.
Well, there was this fictitious Bob Stoops thing that people thought was possible.
Well, he's not anywhere.
It wasn't possible, but and it wasn't even going to happen, and he was not really ever a candidate. Was Mark Stoops a candidate? I think he might have been.
It's weird with Mark Stoops. I think,
and I actually think Mark would be a candidate again.
Yeah, man. That's a tough sell because of what he's done here lately.
Well, look,
but I know where he's been.
Win at Kentucky.
Yeah,
and I also think, honestly. So if we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of this, I think Mike failed because he didn't recruit the line of scrimmage like an SEC team.
Yep.
He should have recruited the elite.
He recruited
offensive
like
and
an
defensive
AAC team,
lines.
like a Memphis team.
Yeah. So he did not recruit the offensive and defensive lines the way that big boys do when they're serious about winning long term. And you can't find those people in the portal. You got to get them from the high schools. So he failed miserably there. You know who wouldn't? Mark.
Yeah.
Because he knows what it looks like. He knows what it is. And he actually did it temporarily at Kentucky.
Yeah, they were good.
Nobody's going to be head over heels about an announcement that Mark Stoops is your next head coach, but he would build it right. I don't know how long he would sustain it. I don't know how sexy he would be.
He definitely wouldn't be sexy.
No,
but yes, he's I think your floor is pretty high with him.
Yeah.
I don't know that your ceiling
this
is
nonsense losing to Stanford.
that would not happen. They would just bludgeon that quarterback.
Just run right. Yes.
They would also bludgeon that quarterback.
Yeah.
He would not. Yeah. He's a very good defensive coach.
Honestly,
very good. Maybe one of the best he is one of the best in the country.
That's it, everybody. Corey and I are on Mark.
Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops or bust has shut down the program.
Let's go.
And he brings all the Stoopses with him.
Do you remember anybody else that was a candidate? Was there any talk of God, I don't know.
Maybe was Rhett Lashley? Would he have been a candidate?
He wouldn't have been a candidate then. I don't think. Diaz, was he? No. Mm-mm. Matt writes, each of you imagine yourself as AD Alford and tell me why you wouldn't fire Mike. Well, no, I would have.
I can't.
And I can't imagine it because, by the way, I would have fired him last year.
Yeah.
If you can't answer the question beyond the money isn't there, now tell me why you should not also be fired. Well, I tweeted that. I thought that yesterday's announcement basically was like firing yourself. It's crazy to me.
And the money is there one way or the other. Well, you'll have to figure it out. It's not great, but look, and I would say this, yes, it sucks that you would have to spend in the neighborhood of $100 million to get your next coaching staff in here. That's not ideal. But if you do that, which we think Florida State is going to do probably in 5 or 6 weeks, you're committed. You're not then going to skimp on roster. I mean, at this point, you're all in. You're already leveraged beyond the hilt.
To the hilt, yeah.
Beyond it. So you might as well just go all in. And if you win some games, maybe get into another league, the money stuff will start taking care of itself. But you've got to start winning games quickly.
You do need to put your best foot forward here in the very near future.
Be nice, yeah.
The cachet that you've built up over 40-plus years of being a huge brand in college football is still there. But you're doing a lot to tarnish it right about now.
Yeah.
And, what you do another 2-3 years of this? I mean, we've seen programs kind of go the way of the dodo. Nebraska doesn't even matter.
I don't think Florida State would ever be in that scenario. And the reason I say that is not because they're impervious to it, clearly. Look at the top 10. Vanderbilt's 10th. Georgia Tech's 7th.
Right.
Like, you can find your way back in there if you make the right hire.
Well, that's what's maddening right now.
Nebraska, and also you're in Florida.
Right.
So you're going to get a chance to get really good players. Nebraska might not ever get back simply because they're in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it's hard to recruit there in this day and age. It wasn't 25 years ago. But if Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt and Indiana can be, in Arizona State, can be top 15-ish teams consistently, at least here for a couple of years, Florida State can too. You just got to make the right hire.
Well, they definitely can. I want to know how quickly that's going to happen. They need to get, because the thought is, so first of all, the next big shuffle in college football is going to happen in 2030 with the Big Ten contract, television contract, right? Most people believe that your Ducks need to be in a row by 2028. You position yourself to be a very attractive product brand to fight over between Fox and Disney.
Yeah.
You need to be in that position, right? And I don't believe in my heart of hearts, and I've said this all along. I don't know where you stand on this. I do not believe that Disney would allow for Fox to grab two of the biggest brands in the South and then be a coast-to-coast conference with the biggest names from Southern Cal all the way down to Florida State and Clemson.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. They won't do it, right? At some point, they'll poo-poo it forever, but at some point, the SEC is going to go, we need to act.
Yep. And you throw Miami in there, too. Like, Miami's showing, I assume they're getting good ratings, too. When Miami's operating pretty close to peak efficiency, that's big, too. So the three of them together are very, very attractive. And I say that because the big noon game this week, Jeff, which is interesting, it's entertaining, it's Indiana and UCLA. Like, it's fine. It's in the moment, it's fine. But those are not two football hotbeds.
No.
And they're not going to get probably not going to get a ton of great ratings. I think there's it's like Oklahoma Ole Miss
that's a good game.
That's a noon game too. Let's see which one outdraws the other.
Oh, I think we know.
Now imagine if Florida State was playing Oregon. Now you're
cooking with gas, buddy. Noel Tickety writes, good day, gents. Thoughts on this scenario? Perhaps they are talking to Sexton, who's working on Mike's next landing spot, possibly 2-5 Tulsa, then looking to hire someone else on Sexton's client list. Mike has a mitigation clause. Maybe this could lower a negotiated buyout. Yes, he does have a mitigation clause, an obligation to, and there are machinations behind the scenes that I very much think are happening. To what extent that scenario, I don't know, but I think yes, I think those.
I feel like those would still be happening whether he was on the sidelines against Wake Forest or not, though.
Yeah, I do too, and that's why we're kind of baffled as to why it just didn't happen.
Because they're about to go on a run. A generational run. You thought the 19 game winning streak was fun. Wait till you see what's about to be unleashed.
John writes, 2 interesting decisions by Mike, not punting on 4th and 19, maybe pinning Stanford and having better field position for a drive, putting Sperry in over Glenn, who has no real game experience. Thoughts, Corey?
I'm glad we got a real game question.
We got a game question there.
I was okay with the not punting because there wasn't a guarantee you were going to get the ball back. I can see both sides of it. 4th and 19, probably not a great chance, but you could just, all it takes is a defensive hold, and it's a new set of downs. My bigger problem, and I've voiced this, is you bring him into a game that's a 7-point game. You're at their 41-yard line, 1st and 10 with 2.5 minutes left and all 3 timeouts. Why in the world are you dropping him back every play?
Right.
Kid that's never played a meaningful snap at all. His first snap is a throw. The second snap is a throw. Then he has to scramble. Then he gets sacked because or intentional grounding. Like, he wasn't ready to just let it loose and throw. He didn't have to. It didn't make sense. And also, yes, I would have, in hindsight, unless he hasn't been practicing, because we don't get to see practice.
Did Gus talk about any of this today?
No.
Gus?
No.
Because
we didn't. We'd asked for Norvell.
Too.
Yeah, that Brock wasn't the.
Yeah.
I should have asked. I should have asked that. I should have asked that. He was asked about Sperry, but not about why he was ahead of Brock.
Tell the people what he said about Sperry.
I don't remember.
Not meaningful.
He's ahead of his. I know that didn't help at all. He doesn't act like a true freshman. He handled them in the moment. Tony White was actually more encouraged by Kevin Sperry. He said a lot of nice things about him.
Effusive even.
Well, he just said he got them all the way down to the 1-yard line. They're fighting their asses off. That's what he kept saying about the team, which is like, great, man. Yeah. You're talking to a fan base that just watched you lose to Stanford.
Yeah, and it's your 9th straight ACC loss, not yours.
Yeah, you're only comfortable with 4 of them. You only got 4 of them on your resume.
4 of them, yeah. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Hey, everybody, it's Ed Dean along with Roger Henderson, also with FloridaDaily.com. Just want to remind you, daily 4 to 6 in the afternoons right here in Tallahassee on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Roger, it is literally the 2 fastest hours anywhere in afternoon talk radio.
And if you think the country's going crazy, we'll help you make sense of it all.
Oh, yeah, we'll try to make some sense of it. Again, Monday through Friday in the afternoons, Ed Dean, Roger Henderson on 93.3.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel-tip boards and soft-tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
This time of year, we enjoy spending time outdoors in this beautiful North Florida climate until a mosquito attack begins.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control can help you take your yard back. We have an affordable program to help keep mosquitoes away, and our program even helps with other pests like ticks.
Mosquitoes are a nuisance to you, and by carrying diseases such as heartworms, they can be harmful to your pets.
Learn more about how Paul's can help protect you, your family, and your pets from mosquitoes. For the elimination of termites, pests like mosquitoes,
and a greener lawn too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Do you want to take your yard back by having a green and pest-free lawn?
At Paul's, we understand the unique needs of your North Florida lawn, which is why we developed a program to address those concerns.
Our treatment program includes inspection, treatment, and education on best practices for optimized results while remaining environmentally conscious. An added benefit is that our lawn treatment is flea suppression, so having a greener lawn can help protect your pets too. For a greener lawn and the elimination of fleas too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
New Florida laws now require condo associations to create an online account with DBPR by October 1st, 2025. This is where you'll complete required reporting, including the Structural Integrity Reserve Study, known as SIRS, and provide important association information to help your condo stay compliant. For more information and to create an account, visit condos.myfloridalicense.com.
This message is brought to you by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation and the Florida Association of Broadcasters.
Hey, are you ready to raise your
glass because on Saturday, October 25th, the Thomasville Brewfest is back, bigger and better than ever. General admission to the beer garden opens at 1 with the fun flowing till 5. 1 in early? Then snag a VIP ticket for exclusive early access to unlimited tastings. And don't miss the Vendor Village starting at 11. Open to everyone, no ticket required for that. This year, enjoy even more breweries than last year. Live music, food trucks, and shopping with local small businesses. VIP ticket holders get the ultimate experience. Early tastings, swag bags packed with goodies, and catered food from local favorites. Tickets are now on sale at Eventbrite. Just search Thomasville Brewfest. And don't forget, use the code RADIO at checkout to save. Thomasville Brewfest. Sip, savor, and celebrate local flavor.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Rolling on, we do want to say, as always, thanks to our friends over there in Thomasville at Tavello. If you haven't been by Tavello, make sure you swing in and get yourself one of the many delicious beers that they offer up there. And it's getting to be the time of year where you want to go there, hang out, and go out in the back. Beautiful weather.
It's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
So beautiful setup back there. I'm sure they have some sort of like Halloween themed IPAs coming up. Maurice, get on that.
Get on it up, Maurice.
Make something happen.
He's right about that. He's right. We need to make that happen. All right. So let's get back to the questions at hand here. The burden of getting us out of this is 100% on Corey Clark. This is from Nick. He wants you to ask the magical question.
I don't think there's a magical question now because that implies that
can it be a directive?
Norvell, leave.
Yeah.
That Norvell's going to be around to go on some other magical run, which I don't see that happening. I think about it. That was 5 years ago that he said all that. It was a great answer.
Yeah.
And they turned it around.
They did. Short-lived.
It was lived for 2 years.
Yeah,
but it was you wonder how much of that if it had been Tate Rodemaker at quarterback instead of Jordan Travis. I don't know that Norvell. In fact, I do know Norvell is not here right now.
It would not have worked out.
Yes,
that is correct. Colin, that makes me laugh. He writes, "First time, long time. Why is this happening, and how long will it last?"
That's a very good question.
Man,
that's a very good question.
That's a toughie.
Yeah, going back to Brock Glenn though and Sperry. I think Sperry's just been their number 2 guy. They think he's the future. I was a little bit surprised in that moment, though. But I don't know if Brock Glenn. I know he's been banged up. I know he was hurt in the beginning of practice, at the beginning of the season, and maybe he's still not right. I don't even know if I don't know if he's even practicing that much. Maybe he re-injured it in the Kent State. I don't know because we're not out there. But yeah, I was a little. What I did like about Sperry is that, man, the wherewithal to pick up that ball after the snap and go just hurl it towards someone it's a heady play for a kid in that moment.
Yeah.
And he did step into that throw. I mean, he didn't get it to the end zone, but he stepped into that throw to get it to Danzy down to the 10. I mean, that was all cool. He took a horrible sack because he doesn't know. I mean, you just can't take a sack there. I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't think Brock Glenn takes a sack there. I think Brock's played more, but what does it matter? You win or lose that game.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he's the kind of quarterback, because I've seen people in the chat talk about this, like maybe he'd be the guy that if he played against Wake Forest and played well, that could be
the spark
and the catalyst to keep Norvell, because he's so good. You want to keep Kevin Sperry.
Whoa.
I don't know that he's that guy.
No, I was going to say, I don't think we're going there.
And I think honestly, I don't think Norvell has a chance to be the coach here next year, but his only chance is Castellanos gets healthy to look like
and win out.
Yes. To look like and then you have the excuse of, well, our quarterback was injured. We went 8-4 when Tommy was healthy. They couldn't stop us. I know you made me feel away. I'm just saying. I don't think you're beating Clemson at Clemson. Probably with a healthy Tommy, but certainly not with Kevin Sperry. I wouldn't think.
Lake Seminole writes, it has to be either Jimbo Fisher or James Franklin. How do we feel about the possibility of Dion? Nope.
Not Dion.
Nope. Not Dion.
But I would.
Colorado sucks again.
Yeah, they're not good. They're not good. You wouldn't hire.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't hire a guy that's
3-4.
3-4 at Colorado. That doesn't make sense. Kind of like if you took the name away from it, you wouldn't hire a guy that just got fired by A&M. And the guy that took over his team is now number 3 in the country. Like, you wouldn't do that, except his name is Jimbo Fisher and you have a history with him. You have a history with Dion. It goes back, it's 40 years ago now, but you do have a history with him. You have a history with Jimbo, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily the right hires. I think Jimbo and Franklin, the appealing thing to me about both of them, again, Jimbo, if he just runs the offense, miss me. Go to West Virginia, man. I don't need to watch you fiddle fart around and score 19 points a game. But he can bring in players. He did it at A&M.
Players very well too. Yeah.
He did it at A&M, and that's what Franklin's strength is. And that's all I'm concerned about is loading this roster with dudes that can play on Sunday. Lots of them, because that's a good recipe to win a lot of football games.
Typically, Cody writes, we know FSU has some talent, but how much is it going to cost them to bring in Jeff's son to save the program next year?
Yeah, what's going on with Bryce? When is he going to commit anytime soon, or is he waiting to see who the next head coach is?
I think he's going to wait.
Okay.
I told him.
Smart.
Let's hold off, son.
Smart.
Let's hold off. There were a lot of opportunities out there. Let's see if Florida State can get it right.
He was actually ready to commit on Monday.
It was this close.
But then they announced that Norvell was coming back, and you're like, hold off on that now. Hold off on that.
Yeah, they got waxed over in Bradford, but he played well. He had like 6 catches and like 6 kickoff returns.
Oh, well, that's never a great sign. If
when
you're
you give him
returning
45 points, you get a lot of opportunities.
All
but
right.
they kicked every one of them to him. I was like, man, this is awesome. And he woke up so sore on Saturday morning.
There you go.
I mean, just beat to hell.
Yeah.
It was great, though.
It's football, baby.
At one stretch, he had 3 straight catches for first downs, and they were all in the middle of the field with him getting whacked.
Does he get up and signal first down?
No, he gets up and tosses the ball to the official and jogs back. He's very modest.
Now, would he signal a first down if it was a close game? Like, has he been taught, like, hey, don't celebrate a catch when you're getting your head kicked in?
He didn't even see. He had 2 touchdowns against Port St. Joe, and he didn't even. He didn't even
act like he's been there.
He jumped up and did a shoulder bump with his teammate.
That's it. Okay.
That's it in the back of the end zone.
He didn't do it like a karate bow.
He didn't do any of that. He doesn't want the attention. How is it possible that the big money players, AD and the other powers that be, were so unprepared for all of this? Obviously, you have 2-10, but even after the Pitt game, how are preliminary talks not had in the case of the quote unthinkable and you lose to Stanford? This is from J Daddy's SNZ. Fire everyone.
Doesn't that implies though they might have been having these talks? I don't think they.
Had to have. I mean, they had to have.
So this might have been the plan since Miami, since the halftime of Miami or the third quarter against Miami.
Oh, it's happening again.
Yeah, here it goes. They're down 28-3. Miami's better than them, but they're not 25 points better than them. This is ridiculous. At home again, laying another egg again.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start figuring. They probably. I don't think they just had the talks on Sunday morning. I think they've been having preliminary talks. This was what they decided they wanted to do. I don't think this was a rash decision.
Well, I think that they went back to the well one too many times and asked the same money people for more money. And if you think about what those people had to commit for the founders suites and all of the things that they did with the loge boxes, those people spent millions of dollars at the behest of the university trying to catch up, modernize, and all those things. Hey, this is where we need your money now. This is the long-term legacy play. Do this, set yourself up to turn right around and then say, hey, by the way, in addition to not only asking you for all that money for the upgrades and for the facilities, we also asked you for a lot of money last year when we had to fire some assistants and bring in these new guys. And now we're going to ask you for some more money to fire the head coach, who we could have just fired last year and saved us all time and money. But anyhow, I think that they were probably maybe shocked by a number of those people to which money is no object, saying the checkbook is closed.
Yeah.
Don't ask me anymore. I told you this before. Don't ask me again. Now they've got to go other places to get the money. There are other places, not named private equity, that they can go to get the money. It's just that it's a little bit more of a process, I think, and that they may not have been prepared for.
Yeah.
That's a scenario.
Who's
guys.
running Burt Reynolds' estate?
Well, it can't be Lonnie Anderson. She's dead.
Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. to both.
Mm.
There's got to be money in Burt Reynolds' estate, though. And he would be...
Well, let's get off of it.
He's aghast. He would be aghast at this.
Oh.
Because he lived through this in the 70s. Yeah. When he was becoming the biggest star in the world, Daryl Mudra was the coach. Now we're back to... Sorry, Mike. We're back to Mudra 2.0. This is incredible.
I do, but J Daddy SZN, you aren't wrong. I think a lot of people have asked that question in the last 24 hours is, what do you mean you weren't ready?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we're implying that they weren't ready. Just because of what they did Monday, but that might have been their plan all along for some reason, or at least they realized this was going to be the route they took more than just on Sunday morning.
Yeah. And I think that they want to procure and figure out ways to piece it all together. Yeah. David writes, baseball question amidst the football dilemma. Peter, that's a nice way of phrasing it. The football dilemma.
Football dilemma is very well said.
Peter Collins told Warchant that a new baseball stadium is a problem for the next batch of leaders in athletic department seem naive about NIL spending. What are the chances this link era has an expiration date because of the limits on resources? So this is a good question, David. I have said, Corey, just if you don't know, I have said that there is a growing concern amongst coaches. I don't know about Link. I'm not going to put words in Link's mouth.
Right.
But there are growing concerns by some of the coaches at Florida State regarding Michael Alford's view or belief about how NIL should work, what it looks like, how it's going to be policed. And there are people over there who think that he's in Never Never Land on this subject, that he is not approaching this in a modern way. The quickest way to get fired is to have the coaches that you interact with, work with, bring those concerns to the higher ups that you're not giving me a chance to compete and win at the highest level. So, for example, if you were to lose a really high-profile player because you didn't have the funds or didn't want to commit what you needed to do to bring in, say, the best softball player in the country, or if you lost an elite golfer.
By the way, her parents both went to Florida State and were pretty high-level athletes.
Yeah, so she committed to South Carolina. Curious. So then, you lose a golfer that perhaps chooses Florida or Georgia over Florida State. And
here's what I would say to that, though. As you're saying it out loud, I would assume most people listening to you are saying, I don't give an F about softball and golf.
But they care about the attitude towards NIL.
Sure, right. But the attitude towards NIL, they really only care about for one sport. You better be – I'm just saying – nobody's going to care if you lose the top golfer in the country. Nobody.
People are going to care that you lost a legacy.
Oh, the softball,
to play
right?
Softball.
But again, I think the argument you could make to counter that is, okay, yeah, we didn't spend this amount of money on a softball player. We saved it for our quarterback. And I know that might not be true, but that might be. As long as you say that, they'll be like, all right, well, as long as you're spending it wisely.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm just saying, like football is where the football and basketball, I guess, and baseball are the three where they care about NIL more than if you have a good golf team. Because let's be honest, Jeff.
No, I know what you're going to say. That's fine. We can talk about them not winning the national championship.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, nobody watches college golf.
No,
I wasn't Trey, I wasn't taking a shot at you, buddy. You get there. You get yourself in the mix every year.
No. What I'm saying, though, that pervasiveness, that attitude towards NIL and what you think it is and what it really is very concerning.
But when if I start hearing examples of, like, football players, then that's when you're in real trouble. That's when not you, they are in real trouble.
Yeah, but to me, I think it's safe to assume if that's the attitude towards NIL in general, that you probably have this problem.
Yeah, well, you got to save money to pay $50 million to your head coach.
Then pay it and get rid of him. Let's go.
Please.
What are we waiting on? Sean writes, why are universities signing contracts with such huge buyouts? It just seems unsustainable.
It's ridiculous. What Indiana did is absurd. God bless them.
It is. They've never.
They got Mark Cuban, I guess.
They got Mark Cuban writing a check that he won't even notice the money's out.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point. So,
you know how Mark Cuban made his money?
Yeah. Yes. I think I do. Go ahead.
He invented the real player on the internet where you could, because he was an Indiana grad, an Indiana basketball fan, but he was living in Texas and he wanted to hear the Indiana radio broadcast of the basketball game.
Right.
So he invented a way you could listen to those on the internet. I think it was Real Player.
Well, and a multitude of those kinds
maybe not
of apps.
Invented it, but marketed it and created the.
I think like several different types of apps like that too.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah. No, that wouldn't suck, right? To stumble into that.
Yeah, man.
To have the
it's a good idea. I kind of had that idea too. I just didn't have the foresight to make
you'll
millions
never
of dollars.
You'll never believe me, but when I was 10, I came up with the idea of MTV. And then like a year later, it happened.
I thought that's how old you are.
Yeah,
you were
like,
10 and MTV hadn't been invented.
Or 8 or whatever I was. But yeah, I remember saying, you know what they ought to have when you put your album on? You ought to be able to see the band playing. There ought to be a video for this sort of thing. And I remember saying that to my mother. Like I would play AC/DC's Highway to Hell. I'd put the record on. I'd hear that opening chord. I'd be like, man, this would be so awesome if on my stereo I could see Angus play it.
Or I remember having that same thought about Billy Squier when I was like, man, I'd love to see him humping a bed. In leggings.
In leggings?
Yeah,
you know what would be a good idea, Billy?
Yeah, just please.
Brutal. But I remember seeing the video for Stroke Me.
Yeah, that wasn't as
not
outlandish.
That kind of absurd.
Yeah, back then when Florida State won football games, back in the early 80s. Even then, they were okay. They weren't great, but they weren't this. They were not a mess. Bobby Bowden was a very good coach.
Yeah, this is it's not sustainable, Sean, I don't think. I do think that we're going to see a different model moving forward, but who knows when. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
The Quincy Police Department is investigating a shooting that happened on Friday. It happened at around 11:15 a.m. in the parking lot of Ice Age Fashions on West Jefferson Street. Officers responded after reports of possible gunfire and found damage to the front of the business. Several shell casings were found. A preliminary investigation suggests that no one was an intended target. However, someone may have tried to get into the business during the shooting. Police are reviewing video surveillance from the area. Anyone with information about the case is encouraged to contact the Quincy Police Department at 850-879-8315. Authorities are investigating the death of a 7-month-old child after the infant was found unresponsive in a vehicle Thursday. The child was discovered unresponsive after being left inside the vehicle. The infant later died at the hospital. The cause of death is being investigated and remains pending. This is Rachel Anay with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by McLemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 83. Winds out of the west around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, lows dip down to about 59. High of 80 tomorrow. Clear skies and dry Thursday and Friday, upper 70s Thursday, low 80s by Friday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 78 degrees.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Football season is here, Tallahassee. Are you ready for backyard watch parties, burgers on the grill, and game day glory? Wait, now with those leaves piled up like a linebacker blocking the end zone. Call the Lawn John. We'll tackle those falling leaves, clean up your yard, and lay down fresh pine straw or mulch so your lawn looks like a championship field. Don't fumble your fall cleanup. Call the Lawn Johns today, and let's score you the best-looking yard on the block. The Lawn Johns. Your lawn, our game.
Injured? Call attorneys who care. Facing Brooks. Offices, Tallahassee.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay! Sausage.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
All right, we got a lot of these to get to. Let's rapid fire. Some of these are good ones, and I want to get to. Walter writes, good afternoon, winners. Some coaches take the names off the uniforms. Others let the backups play so the starters feel the pain. What coaching moves would you use to send the unacceptable message to this team? Well, I'd fire the coach.
Yeah. I think he's asking if you were Norvell.
Yeah.
If you were the coach, what would you do? I wouldn't let Daniel Lyons play again after he jumped off. Not the rest of the season, but he wouldn't have stayed in the game after jumping off sides.
I think if I were Mike Norvell.
Did you see the look that Norvell shot Terrence Knighton after the Lions jumped off sides?
Yeah, it was like brutal.
Yeah.
I think if I were Mike, I wouldn't show up for work.
Like, you don't deserve me to be here.
I don't. Yeah. I shouldn't be there. I'm holding you back.
Yep.
Let the other guys take it for the day.
Okay.
Let's see what happens there. I'm going to stay at home.
Okay, that's fair.
Then maybe they'll fire me and I'll get my money.
Yeah, that's
delinquent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably couldn't do that. Yeah, I could lose my money.
You have to show up, at least go through the motions.
Could I stand by the goalpost the way one coach famously did? Just
leaning back on it?
Lean back on the goalpost?
Yeah, he's on that Colorado staff now.
Yeah. Of course he is.
Yep.
David writes.
That was incredible.
Far too many coaching scenarios and guesses to ever analyze, but given NIL portal and how quickly fortunes change, both for the good and bad, we've lived through both in the last 2 years and 7 games. What's the timeline and best scenario path to stability and the college football relevance for Florida State? Well, have a coaching plan about how you want this thing to look in your athletic department and how you're going to run it, and obviously go hire a good football coach. There are no guarantees, even when you hire a good football coach, that it's all going to go the way that you want it to go. I'll give you an example. I think that there are coaches every year who get fired who are really good at coaching. Something goes wrong. Mike Norvell at one time was very good at coaching.
Yeah.
He was very successful at Memphis. He won 19 straight games here. But once it starts to build in the negative category, it starts to avalanche. It gets to be too heavy for you to move, and you see good coaches get fired a lot. You see guys who were successful become unsuccessful. You got guys who failed one place who win somewhere else. It happens all the time. It's very difficult to know for certain I got a guy who is going to change our fortunes for certain. Yeah. But I would hire like a Jeff Brom from Louisville. I would love to bring in Jeff Brom.
I think he'd be a great hire. I think what intrigues me about guys like that, or would I'd make him tell me no.
Yeah.
Is that he's doing it in your conference.
Yes.
And he's doing it at a place that does not have the history that you do. It's not like you're having to take a shot on another AAC coach. Can he do it at this level? We don't know. We'll see. Can he recruit at this level?
Right.
You know Jeff Brom can get it done.
Well, that's why I loved Elko. I remember thinking if we could get Elko here, that'd be great.
And Elko, again, was around big programs.
Yes.
Showed that he could win at Duke, but also showed he was a great defensive coordinator at Notre Dame and A&M. Like, he's done it at this level. That's just what I want. That's why Franklin intrigues me, because he's done it in the Big Ten to a pretty successful degree, and he did it in Vandy. He's SEC Big Ten. Brom is Big Ten ACC.
Yeah.
Rhett Lashley has done it in the ACC.
I don't want to run Rhett's offense, but I know your point remains.
That's why you have to. To me, you have to hire someone that the floor is pretty darn high.
Yeah.
Because they've done it at this level. They will not be overwhelmed by what it's like to be a coach in the ACC, or what it's like to recruit against Kirby Smart, or recruit against the SEC programs. They have done it before.
Yeah, Brom's at his alma mater, so a lot of people assume he wouldn't leave, but I think he would. And from what I'm told, he is a son of a bitch. Like, he's a really difficult, like, he would have tough practices. He's a tough-minded guy. And listen, they're always prepared. They don't always have the best team, but they're always prepared.
And he went in and got a really good running back from the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And you got Cam Davis. No offense, Cam Davis, but you weren't him.
He's also got an elite receiver.
Yeah, no lie.
He's got a dude there now.
Did he come from somewhere?
That kid is a stud.
He's awesome.
Every time I watch Louisville play, I'm like, Jesus, we don't have anybody like that. That guy's a stud.
Deuce is good, too.
Deuce is really good.
Yeah,
but
that guy's really good.
Really, really, really good. Patrick writes, the administration had to have a plan in place after the result of last season, right? The buyout didn't change overnight. Did the win against Bama change things? Did it cause them to be unprepared for what followed that game?
It might have. It certainly made them breathe a sigh of relief. We beat Alabama. We're about to be 3-0. Probably they were looking at the schedule, thinking we're going to be 6-0, or at least 5-1, 6-1, and then it fell on its face. So maybe, but it's still they would have had those discussions. They would have had to have had those discussions about if this doesn't work, because there's a big risk. You're bringing in Gus Malzahn to be an OC, Tony White to be a DC, and if it doesn't work, you're going to have to fire him after 2-10. And so they had to know this was a possibility.
R.A. Noel writes, gentlemen, 3 a.m. pity sausage is not ideal.
It's anger sausage now, I think.
Can FSU keep paying Mike Norvell but relieve him of his duties? Do you hire a football-only GM before a coach? If the new coach claims to be a lifelong FSU fan, he should have to answer 3 trivia questions from you, Corey.
That's awesome. I agree with that.
Is fair.
Willie would have tanked that immediately.
Miserably.
Jimbo would get them all.
Do you remember this first time you and I both were like, I'm not so sure Willie is.
Well, we asked him who his favorite player was, and
he
would say Peter Warwick or Warwick Dunn. And do you remember any specific plays? Nah, I just remember how they would go and score touchdowns. It's like, all right, man. It's okay. We don't need you to be a huge Florida State fan.
Yeah, but don't tell us you are if you're not.
Yeah,
don't do that. What do we make of Josh Pate saying he sees Franklin taking the FSU job? Seem pretty sure that's the one he'd take. Well, hey, I'd say great.
Yep.
Cool.
And yeah, again, I would say, because I saw on Twitter, somebody wrote, Grace Rayner, who I think works for maybe 247, I don't remember. She's a national writer now. She wrote that Virginia Tech should hire Franklin. And everybody was like quote tweeting, like, oh, the national people, like, yeah, this makes perfect sense. This would be awesome. I'm like, man, if Franklin has a choice between Blacksburg and Tallahassee, he's not going to Blacksburg. And yeah, man, again, Franklin, say what you want.
Your floor would be raised greatly. Yes.
Yeah, man. And to say he can't win big games, I get it. His big games are against Mario and Dabo, not exactly Harbaugh in Ohio State.
Here's why it matters. It mattered more that he couldn't win those games back in the day, where if you lost them, you had no path to winning the national championship. Yeah. It doesn't anymore. Well, you can still go 10-2 and be in the playoffs.
He made the playoff last year, and he didn't win the big games. But also the 2 years prior to that, he would have been in the playoff.
Would have been
if in the current format.
That's the key. You have to wrap your mind around the idea that as long as you have a coach that is going to routinely have you at 9-3 or 10-2, you're in the game.
Yep. You're in the conversation going in the last game of the season, and I think Franklin would absolutely do that.
I believe he would too, because he can recruit.
Yeah.
And he recruits the lines of scrimmage.
And evaluates too now. Yeah. He can evaluate. He knows who's good and who isn't, apparently.
I don't love his quarterback selections, but I do like his offensive and defensive line selections.
Yeah.
There's just studs
They're
everywhere
all about
all
that.
the time.
Yeah, they're good at that
I'm going to keep going back to that.
Yeah, and that tight end was pretty darn good too,
Pretty
by the way.
damn good, yes. J-Rod, this is sad, but I'm going to read it, and I appreciate you taking the time to write it. My mom passed away a week after selecting her tickets for this season. I've made it a point to come to every home game because she would be mad if we were not there to cheer on as loud as she would have. But the last 2 home games are going to be very hard to go to with a team who just doesn't care.
I would say I would push back on that a little, not against the sentiment, but about I do think they care. I do think they played hard till the end. I really do. Like they got the ball back 3 straight times on defense. I know they're playing essentially what was a high school offense out in Stanford. But I do think I think they played hard.
I'm torn on this, Corey, because there is evidence that they were playing hard once they realized there was a possibility they could lose. I'm not so sure they were playing that hard in the first half.
No, they weren't. So, which is crazy. Which again, I just think that comes back to the coaching, though.
Yeah.
Like they weren't prepared. Hey, Reed, we did get a donation up there. You need to click on before we're.
All right, we got several of them here, real quick. 2 Live jump back in the mix. Would you make Tony the head coach next year? Ride out everyone's contract change, OC, then go grab a new head coach? No,
I don't know that he's done enough to be the interim head coach.
I like
even
Tony,
for a
but
year.
no, I don't blame all this on him.
And I also think if he got a year to recruit his own guys and bring in his own guys to the system, that defense would be much, much better. And he wouldn't be a bad ambassador for your program, but apparently he's getting death threats. So that's an untenable situation there.
Optimus Climb writes, do you think Mullen would do better in the NIL era where money does the majority of the recruiting? He would average 30-plus a game.
That's another one. When you brought up Braum, me and Aslan were talking about Mullen.
I don't want Dan.
But he's a good football coach. He was good at Mississippi State.
Quirky,
he was actually
weird son of a bitch.
He is crazy weird.
Crazy, don't have any desire to bring crazy to town.
I agree. He would be like my 5th or 6th choice. Yep. But he's doing well at UNLV.
He's a good coach.
And he did well at Florida, especially in the relation to who they hired. They fired him and who they got. Like, he had them in the top 10.
Want no part of him.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
All the sentiments. Yeah, he's a good coach. Don't want him.
He's just a straight-up weirdo.
Yes, very, very. Never Again is back joining us here, asking the question not fans are thinking, what would we take Jimbo back? 6 winning seasons and winning record against rivals in the SEC. No, I don't think so.
I think they would have to have some concessions from him. There'd have to be a lot of talks. I think they would take him back because I just think they would.
No, but relative to what? Like all other options fail?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think he's their first choice. I don't think he's their 5th choice.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, you do know, again, his floor is his floor. Like his floor got pretty low here last year.
Yes.
They were 3-6 when he when he basically left. But he's going to bring players just like Franklin. Again, what I worry about is his offense was horrible. His offense was horrible at A&M, and he didn't win at A&M. He won
the COVID season.
Yeah, he won the COVID season. That was it. He went 9-1, finished 4th in the country during COVID. All the other seasons were below or well under what they thought. So you wonder, like, is that really the resume of a guy you want to? Yeah, he won here, but that doesn't mean he would win here again.
A lot
12 years later, and a lot has changed.
Man.
There were bridges that were burned, and so that has to go into it too. But if he's going to cost you $1 million as opposed to $9 million, and he could raise the floor for a couple years, they might think about it. I would go after Franklin. I would go after
Brom.
Brom to me is like a no-brainer. I think
I'm rooting for Brom.
He's now on Penn State's list too.
It's problematic.
Yeah,
because Big Ten money outweighs ACC money.
But he knows he can win in the ACC. He knows he go. Miami's no problem for him. He almost beat him last year. There's no problem for Jeff Brom. I think he beat him. He's 2-1 against them, and the one they lost, they were in the game. They were winning with 2 minutes to go.
Well, I know he beat him Friday night.
Yeah, he did.
So that was delightful to see.
Nothing fluky about it either.
No, it was nice to see. Brom to Penn State, really?
I mean, I think he'd rather be at State. But I don't even know. They might want Matt Rule. Who knows? Who knows with all this? I think there are a lot of good coaches out there that weren't just fired. And I know Franklin was just fired, but come on, man. Franklin had much more success at Penn State than Jimbo had at A&M.
Yeah, it was like 13 years he was at Penn State.
And did well. Like had 7, 9, or 10 win seasons. 8 maybe.
Agamemol writes, it seems Agamemol? No? Okay.
Agamemol.
Yeah, I think that's what that is. It seems that the plan to help Norvell with new coordinators, etc., just had to work, or the consequences were dire.
Yeah.
Now we're facing dire. What might that mean? Cutting other sports?
No.
Private equity
they already
funding
got women's
that we really don't want to do?
Yeah.
Changing Doak to Morgan & Morgan Stadium?
There you go.
He's a devout Gator. He's a huge Gator. He went to the University of Florida. John Morgan. Well, he'd take his money, I guess.
Yeah, you take anybody's money.
The long-term discussion surrounding cutting sports or making certain sports club sports exists already because of where a lot of this is going.
But I don't think that's Florida State specific.
No, that's countrywide.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're done, man.
We did it. Ira, good grief. We missed you so much, buddy. We miss you so much. Bring that pragmatism next week for the off week.
We didn't get to a lot of questions. Because there were so many.
A lot.
I did, but I'll bring some to the JCS tomorrow that I didn't get, and we'll see if I can answer some of those as well.
But answer like I would answer.
Oh, okay.
Just one or two of them. Choose like a Corey Clark answer.
I'm going to give a really big hyperbolic answer to one of them.
Or be completely sarcastic.
Yeah, that's fair.
One of the two.
Say goodbye, Corey.
Peace out.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it much. Stay tuned because next hour is the bonus hour, power hour as we call it. Me and Tom talking to you guys next.